I feel like we've done this before. I feel like we've done this before. Reboot from Asteroid G. You're listening to Not So Live from Asteroid G. I'm Mike Finkelstein. With me, as always, is
Josh Schaefer.
And Queen Bee.
And we today are going to be covering Knight Rider, specifically in a reboot of it, in part because I haven't watched enough of the original show to be able to do an overview of it. I don't know. The show looks so dumb. I'm just gonna get that out of the way right now. Like, ridiculously Bionic Man kind of stupid, okay?
Hey, it's a show about a lone crime fighter battling the forces of evil with the help of a virtually indestructible and artificially intelligent supercar. How bad could that be?
But a supercar voiced by John Adams, apparently.
Yes.
Mr. Feeney himself voices the car. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, that actually gives increased points and interest for the show, because, I mean, if the show goes and, like has John Adams back again in whatever reboot we do, and he's just being droll and sarcastic the whole time, that's a half a point at least added to the show's score, in my opinion. Yeah, totally. So, Knight Rider.
Now, Knight Rider was the launch point for David Hasselhoff's career.
Yeah, that was a great stand against the world.
He single-handedly defeated East Germany.
Sure,
Mike.
Yeah. No, I think we all owe like a serious apology as a world for allowing David Hasselhoff to happen. But anyway, in the show, as B alluded to, we have a lone crime fighter, Michael Knight, who somehow, and I assume it was his friend who was genetically enhanced to become a supercar, ends up with a hyper-intelligent supercar that basically can't be damaged, and he rides around in this car fighting crime. And I know that there was at least one reboot of it already, like Knight Rider 2020 or some shit, where there was, and like Team Knight Rider. So they've tried to redo the show a couple times so far. But somehow, I guess it's the core of the idea of a dude in a car driving around fighting crime is very perfectly 1980s and doesn't translate to anything else.
You're absolutely correct.
Okay, yeah, I tried
1980s.
Yeah, it's very 1980s.
I think I watched was it on NBC or something, the reboot of Knight Rider with like the douche bro guy who ends up
Justin Bruning.
I can't remember his name. I don't know. I just know that like they did a spin-off out of that for a Team Knight Rider or something as well, which I completely did not watch, but looked stupid. It's like, how many of these supercars are you guys going to make? Wasn't one enough? It's already indestructible. So if we're going to reboot it, we're going to need to like dig deep on this one and figure out how it is that we can somehow manage to make the best possible Knight Rider we can. Anyone have thoughts?
I have a couple.
Okay, go.
Go ahead, Josh.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go. As long as it doesn't involve Alf, we will allow this to happen.
That was a one-time thing. That was...
I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying.
So, I was thinking about this, and I tried to watch a couple of episodes of the original Knight Rider that I saw. Yeah, it was rough.
Oh, God, I'm sure.
But, I mean, like, there's some this nostalgia for that, because I remember liking it as a kid, but I don't remember anything except for explosions and cars. Like, there were things in there that I was like, there were parts outside of the car?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the biggest thing to do is think of who plays David Hasselhoff.
Okay.
Because, Michael Knight isn't really a character. It's just David Hasselhoff driving a car, more or less, right?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing you have to do is figure out who to cast. And if I wanted like a serious thing, the first thing that came to my mind was The Rock for some reason. And I think it's because of Fast and Furious.
So we have to do it as a movie because he's not going to do a TV show.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And because I don't think it would really translate well as a television show anymore. But someone like with like The Rock's charisma or maybe a Channing Tatum, that would be good. But for the voice of the car, I don't know why, but I think Chris Rock would be like one of the best voices for Kit.
I mean, I gotta give you credit. At least it's a diverse cast of people that you've put into this movie. And
Yeah, well, 'cause
that car is
it's more
going
of
to
a
bitch
comedy.
the shit out of The Rock the whole time.
Yeah, like there's two ways you can go, and I just realized The Rock with Chris Rock, like that was an accident.
Rock and Rock in Knight Rider.
Rock car,
but
but like in my head it was either Chris Rock to be kind of like a sarcastic, funny type, just yelling, Chris Rock style, or have a Samuel L. Jackson type who's just like, I said turn left, motherfucker. Like
this sounds like the funniest version, honestly.
Yeah, and like instead of having it be like a serious reboot, like you had to go the 21 Jump Street route. Like whenever I think of an 80s property now, I think if they reboot it, they have to go the 21 Jump Street route because they did it perfectly.
Yeah.
It's like it's an absurd thing that happens and it pokes fun at itself and it's very tongue-in-cheek and it's even like, this is a ridiculous setup, guys. So I think you kind of have to go with that. Because, like, as much as I love the A-Team movie, like, it doesn't have a lot of rewatchability as much as, like, the 21 Jump Street movies.
I can see that.
So
she did steal some of my idea because I was thinking of having Samuel L. Jackson as the voice of the car. but my replacement for David Hasselhoff would not be The Rock, but it would be Ryan Reynolds, because they are looking for a movie to do together. So
I would watch that too.
That'd be funny.
I would definitely watch Ryan Reynolds as the Hasselhoff character and Samuel L. Jackson as the car, because I think those two would be great together. Also, another good team. I would not put Chris Rock in anything because his voice annoys me. So
that's
but
fair.
I do like diversity. So if you didn't do you could do Ryan Reynolds as the voice of the car, and you can have like Haddish as, I don't remember her first name.
Tiffany?
What's her name?
Tiffany
Haddish.
Yeah.
Or as the Hasselhoff character, so make it a slightly different dynamic. Or you can have a female voice as the car. I'm thinking Melissa
McCartney?
Yes, Melissa McCartney as the voice of the car, and have like the Hasselhoff character be somebody like The Rock, maybe, and they were in a movie together. Who was it? The British guy who did
Jason Statham?
Yes, thank you. Jason Statham and Melissa McCartney as the car.
Oh, I
think that would be great.
I mean, they already featured together in Spy, and he had a glorious time being stupid. That would be a great one.
He knows how to drive a car, so that would be great.
Yeah.
You know, what I think is, like, you guys are all picking, like, very dynamic voices for the car itself. Like, a bold and brash voice, and I kind of want to go the opposite route in this idea. Have Jason Statham star opposite the talking car, voiced by Michael Cera.
Oh, Michael Cera. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, okay.
I know, right? Just mumbling and like, oh my god, what are we doing?
I don't want to drive that way.
Can we slow down?
We're going a little too fast.
And then every once in a while he's like, but remember, Michael, there's always money in the banana stand.
I watched that. I don't think you can.
Great.
Oh my god. Michael Cera's not doing
There's not
a
very
whole lot
many
right
choices for a bad kid, I don't think, as long as you do it as in a comedic fashion.
So
yeah, what is he doing?
Not much of anything right now. Actually, when you guys were talking about who to pair up against it, I really like Jason Statham, but I would have actually gone with the female casting and had him play off of someone that we know he can actually have like decent charisma with. I would have put Mary Elizabeth Winstead in the car because she was good with him in Scott Pilgrim.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
she's not enough either.
She's not enough either, no. And she did really well as the Huntress in Birds of Prey recently.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
I still have to watch that.
You really do.
I know.
Okay, but I'm playing off of your ideas. I had an idea that, because you guys are both doing like live action stuff, I went a completely different route for this. The show, as we said, is very 80s, 1980s. So I think instead of doing live action, we do a cartoon that really plays up the 1980s-ness of it, like bright synthwave neon and music, but with a character that's almost like anime self-serious in his job as a private investigator, who has to star opposite of this car that is constantly like grousing and bitching the whole time, played by H. John Benjamin.
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean,
So it's
if
like,
John Benjamin can voice anything, I'll
So-
be happy with it.
because it's a cartoon, you can really play up the sci-fi aspects and let the car do stupid shit and have villains that are over the top because you don't have to worry about the budget of it. And then you can really accent the colors and have the music like just integrate throughout the song, almost go like Archer with the humor level, especially with H. John Benjamin in it. But you have to have that self-serious character at the middle of it who's trying to take it all so over the top, on point. Because I think if you just did Archer all over again, it would lose the vibe a little with this kind of almost parodic 1980s thing we're going for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in watching that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Knight Rider Knights.
And I don't know why, but you mentioned the 1980s. It just reminded me because we just all watched Community. It reminded me of that G.I. Joe episode.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was like, have the Dean be the car, and Joel McHale be the kid, or not the kid, the David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a good.
But
voice
they're
pairing
playing the
too.
characters from Community, though.
Oh yeah,
That's
I mean, you just do a community reunion and you have them like show up on campus for like just like a 5-year reunion or something from when they all graduated or when the rest of the cast graduated because Jeff graduated earlier. Do like 5-year reunion as their reunion episode, and then halfway in just go into this like anime Knight Rider pastiche, which let's be honest is exactly what Community would do during an episode anyway. Yeah. Oh, I'd watch that. That'd be great. Okay, guys, when you do your Community reunion, there's your episode.
Yeah, I don't know why I have that thought of it's like, oh, grip my wheel harder.
And then he just hits the ejector button and bails on the car completely. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, it's like it's the thing of like, you know, if you think about outside of movies and a TV show, like do a video game or something, then you basically have like Spy Hunter, the guy in his car driving around. That Knight Rider is so specific to what it is. I think if you even did it as a comic book or something else, it would lose its style.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because you really need that interplay of the two characters, whether they're live action and voice or both voiced. That helps to set the tone of the buddy cop comedy of Knight Rider.
Fair enough.
So, any other ideas?
No, I don't have anything.
That was actually a shorter podcast than we normally do. Apparently, there's not that much to do with Knight Rider.
Well, we all had kind of the same idea, so we can't really go off.
Well, I mean, I don't know where you push it outside of this. I mean, the only other idea I could think of is you just go completely ridiculous. And I mean, you had Knight Rider, and then you had Team Knight Rider. So I guess at that point, the next thing you got to do when you have that many cars around and you've already done the planet, you've got to go Knight Rider Galactic.
Have like a Voltron feel?
Yeah,
they all
like team of people just like they're just driving around on the streets of LA doing like underground racing club, and then they get like an alert and they push a button and suddenly all their cars take off from the drag race and fly off into space. I mean, at that point you may as well bring in Vin Diesel for it as the voice of one of the cars.
Obviously, I mean he voices.
You can have a lot of other vehicles, not just a car, but you could have other vehicles that have personalities, kind of like a Transformers without the transforming.
And then you have
that one the helicopter and the van, the medical
ambulance.
truck.
Yeah. That one poor son of a bitch that has to ride the motorcycle goes off into space, hits 50 hits and dies.
Right? Exactly. Make him the most annoying character too.
Yeah, exactly. The Jason Mendoza of the group.
Exactly.
No, I like that. Knight Rider Galactic, and then they have to fight like space missions, and then they always end up drag racing on whatever planet they land on afterwards because that's how they bond as a family. It's Fast and Furious style. Yeah.
Total sense there, Mike.
Yeah, totally. Fast and Furious set it up. We could totally leech off of that at this point.
I like it.
And then they realize the Earth has been destroyed, and they travel back to it, and suddenly they're in like a Galactica 1980 style thing. Knight Rider 1980.
And the only one that survives is the Trans Am?
Yeah, totally. And then you just reboot the original show from there.
Exactly.
Yeah. And they accidentally crash on the planet, killing Michael Knight. And so they have to take over his identity and then continue the legacy, otherwise history won't be maintained.
And then Michael Knight turns out just to be a robot.
Yes, the whole time. The $6 million knight.
And takes over Germany.
With his singing career.
With a singing career, exactly.
I mean, this feels in continuity. I just... Okay. Well, then, I think we've crapped on David Hasselhoff enough here already.
There is Baywatch we could always go into.
That's why I did the joke of Knight Rider Knights. Just no one laughed.
I get it now that you explained it.
Thanks. So... Anyway, this has been Not So Live from Asteroid G. Totally not a talking car. I'm Mike Finkelstein.
I'm Josh Schaefer.
I'm Queen Bee.
And we will see you next time.
Bye, everybody.